by Richard Barker, 24 Burbank Street, and Robert King, 59 Bulldog Ave. And it'll be recorded by us, audio only. So, November 15th, 2023 minutes have to be postponed. They were not finished. So, next is Chimney Pond Dam Access Emergency Certification.
So we received a request from Glenn Kurowski on behalf of the owners. And I am going to read parts of the email, which will give you information. There's also, you can get this larger map that goes along with what I'll be reading. It says, the applicant is required by the DCR to perform the temporary breach. The applicant is having issues in receiving the permit from the railroad to cross their tracks in a timely manner. With the coming winter conditions and the icing of the valves for the siphons, we are requesting an emergency certification to cross once to gain access to the dam using a Caterpillar 316 along with a John Deere 444 loader. The route was flagged in the field today, which was yesterday, with orange flags stating AP for access point on them. I will be guiding 2 machines through this access way. The route will only be used once and there will be no trees or saplings removed for access. The forest is successional and open. If anyone from the commission has time to look at it, you can see the orange ribbons and access route from the tracks up above. Thank you. And this is from Glenn Kurowski. This was over a 2-day period because this path actually changed on the 2nd day. So we did, Tom, Paul, and myself, we did view this access, and it's shown on here in the red. And it will consist of, the equipment will cross an intermittent stream, and then it will be going through this kind of open forest, wooded area, all the way up till it meets with the existing trail, which will take the equipment over to where the sinkhole is. And during the walk today, it does appear there may be some vegetation, saplings, maybe trees that could be damaged or might have to be cut down for the equipment to get through. And then so what they're asking for is an emergency certification to cross the intermittent stream to access the sinkhole to start some work.
Good question.
We'll actually let Glenn
Thank you.
present, and then by all means.
Thank you. If you can hear me, thank you for the inspection today, and that I was able to walk with you on that. But there will only be 1 machine. The insurance binder for the railroad is just about complete, so that was the last point of the railroad in order to cross their tracks. So we still want to go in there as it's going to be warm over the weekend, warm coming up. We want to beat the frost because the siphon hoses, freezing of the valves is an issue. It was a few weeks ago when we had that cold spell and we had to jump start the siphons again, which we'll have to do again. It's down right now about 4.5 feet from spillway as it was today. We will bring it down, but it work as much as 7 to 8 feet below spillway to accomplish the work. And it has been in that, actually lower than that in the past. The only piece of equipment going in, as discussions this afternoon, with no front-end loader, it'll just be the excavator. He'll start his work on excavating the sinkhole area of the dam, casting the material to where the brush pile is. He'll move the brush pile as you go in and take the 90 onto that dam. So that'll be, at least he can rough that area out, and we anticipate at the beginning of the week to get the full insurance from the railroad so we can cross over and execute the partial breach, which would be 3.96 feet from existing spillway elevation down. We did review and gave you copies of the plans for the breach that DCR agreed on for the safety issue of not holding 7 acres in area in the depth of up to 9 feet, and that their issue with it breaching or breaking because of a high hazard dam. Their issue is that they calculated the volume of water that would be safe if it breached or broke. It went down to 395, and they were concerned with not being able to handle the capacity at 395 culverts, and that there could be danger or that safety issue of high hazard dam, and that's why they approved the partial breach to bring it down the desired elevation that I just described. And we're running into, again, was the railroad company. They were bought, they're out west, as far as I understand, they're not no longer local Providence, Worcester. They were bought out, and it takes a while for whatever insurance they're asking for, and I just got the last email that that's the last point they're waiting for with the railroad is the insurance, how much it's going to cost and whatever it is to cross their tracks by the clients, the applicant. Kesley. So lastly, the route that we're taking was the original route that was permitted years ago, no longer, runs at the base of the slope of the railroad from the Depot Road access, as this lot was said, over to the cart road that you would be on once you cross over the tracks going to the dam. There is one intermittent stream crossing. It was where, as we showed today and through century pictures, it's where it had the wall there along that intermittent stream on the south side had been knocked down in the past. We don't know when. It looks pretty old, but the rest of the wall is intact. So we're crossing at the same location as it has been some crossing in the past. Excavator can hold himself up. It's a narrow portion of the brook, maybe 4 feet wide at that location. The flow part 3 to 4. Yes, sir. And cross over, go through the woods. There will be Morrow's honeysuckle, that exotic invasive bush that we walk through. There's some of that. It is a successional forest, so it's not a. It is open. There's small and saplings again. Under the reg would be 20 feet tall, so I call these not saplings, but there might be 1 or 2, and we would cut them flush with the ground, and so that they were not going to be disrupting the soil surface in order to go through. And I would be in front of the machine to make sure that we don't get it, that we go around any kind of tree or saplings, except for maybe 1 or 2, and gain access one time through, and then we get our work underway and ready for the more aggregate to come in over the tracks. 1,500 cubic yards has to be excavated, and that was the figure that came up with the excavation of the channel in the dam. And that would be the size of it.
If you have a few seconds,
Yes.
could you explain how this all started and that where this lies in the order that was that you received from DCR to
Yes.
bring the water level down?
The DCR letter, it started, they were involved on the Friday before Labor Day on the Monday. Once they found out that there was a sinkhole in the dam from the former Lennard Engineering, which is Midstate Office Park, that they were the dam engineers that were there under Cullinan in the past in the last reports, the last couple of reports on the dam. And they were instrumental in the concrete spillway being proposed and implemented. That had been originally 2 stone walls on either side and a pier, and there was a bridge years ago. The bridge was gone in more recent times, and then that was removed and the new sluiceway was put in, the new discharge point. And again, we use that same company, Haley Ward they're called now, to look at the dam, and they reported, because they saw the sinkhole, and they reported to DCR, and that's when they found out. That was the Thursday before that Monday, Labor Day, and then they were on site on Friday, and they stayed on site Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday through Labor Day, and their concern was getting it pumped down, keep it down, and it doesn't matter what sinkhole on any high hazard dam, they have to address it. The other issue with the addressing it was the bulge at the bottom of the dam, which was not as evident when there was spillway, the nape, or the spilling of the water went over, because it's underneath the nape, that's that crest of water. So once looking at it after we drained it, they looked at it, and no one can guarantee that that bulge, that drop and bulge, will stay intact. So that became, initially it was fixed the dam, and then when that piled on top, and that being at the bottom of the spillway at the dam, then it became partial breach it now, and then Solely Engineering out of Norwood worked on the breaching plans. Fuss and O'Neill became involved as their expertise in dam work. So we met them out, and that's how eventually the plan was generated between Fuss and O'Neill and Solely Engineering on the partial breach, given to DCR, and DCR, through a few revisions, then said, we agree on the plan, implement it. And now they're on our, as a letter from the other day or an email, when are you going to get it done? And so that's why we're in a hurry to get at least a piece of equipment in to start the partial breach, and then towards the beginning of the week, middle week, we should have the go-ahead from the railroad for flagmen to allow us to put a temporary crossing of the tracks, go in with the other equipment, and continue making that 275-foot long channel to the brook at Mean Annual Highway water flag. 506 is where we showed today where this new channel would intercept the existing channel leading from the dam. The brook will be a natural, they're requiring subangular rock,
So-
and that's it.
Just so that the question was that this is the direction that DCR has required
Pushed.
by the order to fix
That's correct.
the dam, to fix the problem.
To fix the safety issue, so it's not a
Right.
safety issue in 395.
Okay,
My question is, remains
anybody else? It's not a public hearing.
Well, I mean, one of the things, well, comments, you were saying that, you mean, if this person wasn't
So
there,
it's still not a public hearing.
it's not, a public hearing, so,
Right.
so Glenn gets the talk and say his assessment, which is inaccurate about the
So
true
Glenn
details.
got to explain what the process is going to be to make that dam safe as ordered by DCR. And he was explaining to the commission so that we can issue the emergency certification
Yes,
for
yeah,
it.
this is their,
And this is just for the access to get in with that machine, to start the work that DCR is requiring that they get
yeah,
done.
this would be the second plan they had.
It's not a public hearing, I don't know if you understood that term.
I can't keep
I
saying
guess you don't
it's not a
understand that
public
term.
hearing.
I mean,
So-
I understand, Glenn, you get up here and lie a lot, that's why I get up.
That's right.
I mean, and you have no college education,
That's
no
right.
So-
experience whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's
So,
what-
no discussion to the public in the...
I'm as much of a wetlands expert as he is. You know what I mean, so,
All right.
you know what I mean? I actually have a college degree.
No questions? Entertain a motion to issue emergency certification
Could
with
I
the
just
special
say,
conditions.
yeah, recommendation for special conditions. The equipment shall travel a route of minimum impact to vegetation and soil. Any trees or saplings in the path shall be cut close to the ground before traversing to minimize ground disturbance. Upon completion of access, any disturbance to soil or vegetation shall be restored.
With special conditions just mentioned.
You had to see what they did last time with the excavator. You just smashed
That's
it.
what I was gonna
They just
bring up.
smashed everything. Well, look what happened last time they went in with the excavator.
Art?
They
So,
butchered.
no, the discussion's over, the motion
Oh,
has been moved.
Franklin, they butchered it last time.
All in favor?
I'll just smash the trees down, didn't even cut them.
And it's 7 o'clock.
Before you start.
It's like a mess. can wait another.
Yeah.
Small vegetation. People change, man, like.
Glenn, we're gonna wipe that smug look off your face in court. Vaseline coat
Rich,
comes.
Rich.
Let's be civil.
Yeah.
But you did mention Wellington Brook, trout and all that. Doesn't it go from Auburn all the way down through Chimney Pond and all that?
Used to be the pride.
Didn't you, draining Chimney Pond, didn't you just
That's
stop that
not
flow?
on the agenda.
No, I'm just saying. I was just talking to Miss Sheila again. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Sheila?
Sheila.
I'm sorry.
All right, 7 PM. Public hearing for a request for determination of applicability filed by Mass DOT Highway Division 10, Park Plaza, Boston, Mass. In accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, for maintenance work on I-395, mile marker 9.7 Auburn Town Line. The work will include mill and resurface the main line, vegetation clearing, drainage structure repairs, and cleaning curb and guardrail replacement, Oxford, Mass.
Hello, Judy, Commissioners. I'm not going to be much, I'll probably be as entertaining as the last group, I guess, but I've been sick for a couple weeks, so I was actually home, don't have any of the paperwork with me, and I realized 45 minutes ago that you're only in person. The last 2 nights I've been on virtual hearings, so I don't have anything with me. I can certainly continue if you'd like. So, yeah, basically, this is a joint project, Auburn and Oxford, and
I'm sticking around for you
we're basically, it's just a mill and fill project, so they'll be out there, mill down approximately 2 inches and repave 2 inches, but in between while the road is milled, they'll go through the structures and look at them, see if anything needs to be fixed. Sometimes, it get, the first couple feet, within the first couple feet, they can get some issues with them, so sometimes they have to take that out and rebuild them. It could involve resetting some of the slope edging that's out there, curb, and some guardrail, but we're not doing like full guardrail replacements on most of our projects anymore. It's just in areas that need them due to meeting the new requirements for the height. Excuse me.
You should have stayed home, maybe.
Sorry.
Could I just jump in? Because I was speaking with Lisa from Epsilon, who prepared the application.
Okay.
And it's only 340 feet of the work is in Oxford, so it's at
Is
mile.
Epsilon here?
Yeah.
Oh, you're here?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I saw you sit down, I saw an Epsilon,
Oh,
and I apologize. You can do the talking.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Chairman Paula gave a great summary. So yeah, it's about 300 linear feet of resurfacing and filling in the town of Oxford. There'll also be vegetation management, drainage structure, replacements, including adjusting and rebuilding existing drainage structures, resetting granite curves, resetting granite curve inlets, granite curve. The work, a majority of the work, the resurfacing and milling is considered exempt under the Wetlands Protection Act, and portions of the vegetation management are considered exempt within 6 feet of existing guardrails. Vegetation management will extend 20 feet beyond existing guardrails and 40 feet beyond the existing roadway. So we're here tonight to request a negative determination under category 2 or 3 for the work to proceed.
Will there be any drainage structures in this 350 feet that will be removed, dug up, whatever?
There will be replacements, yes.
In this
and
little 350-foot area in Oxford?
That's a great question. I don't know for sure. I believe so.
I don't see.
So that's what I clarified with Alyssa, what exactly was going to be done in Oxford, because there's a large portion in Auburn.
Yeah.
And it seemed to me like they were just coming into Oxford to get to the next like mile marker. And the only thing she told me that would be happening in Oxford is the milling and repaving.
Okay.
All those other improvements will be done, in Auburn. But that small 340 feet is just going to be the repaving.
Just milling and resurfacing.
Do you know how many structures are in the 40 feet? And I've been on antibiotics since Monday night, so I'm not contagious.
No worries.
Just sound good.
Yeah, it's all upland area. So as far as drainage features, it sounds like based on what Alyssa has told you that there's none located in that 300 feet in Oxford.
So that's what I'm saying, like typically, once we get out there, then, we do an assessment of each structure to see if it needs to be rebuilt, replaced, or what have you. But yeah, I don't think there's that many in this section. I think on the next section that we're coming in for the south section through past Central Turnpike, there'll be more of that.
Yeah, if I could chime in, based on feedback from the designer, there are...
What's your name, just for the recording?
My name is Hector, from MassDOT.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so based on feedback from the designer, I am the project manager, and based on feedback from the designer, there are no drainage structure work taking place within the Oxford portion.
And it appears that the only wetland in the area, you're over 100 feet away,
Yes, that's correct.
which is confusing to us while you're here, because you don't need to be.
Well,
Fair enough.
Yeah,
But-
those wetlands weren't field delineated, obviously, because
Okay.
they're outside of the easement. So we're filing the RDA in case some of that work could be in the outer buffer zone, within the outer.
But the milling is exempt anyways, the milling and paving.
Correct, but as far as vegetation work, that will
Okay.
occur adjacent to the
All right, we just wanted to be
Yeah.
clear, because there's a lot on here that I read, but it didn't appear to be that in this area.
Right, right.
Commissioners, any questions?
No,
Any questions from the public? Ed?
Where's 9.7?
It's a mile marker, it's
I know, but
300.
where is it?
Do you want to look at the plan?
No. Where,
It's
is it in south of Sutton Ave?
It's just,
Ed,
it's not
Ed,
that far
it's
south.
340 feet south of the Auburn line.
Oh, jeez.
Way before Depot Road.
So you're going into Auburn?
Yes,
It's mostly all.
predominantly in Auburn, on the ramp system, and it comes down and it's a little bit beyond the pond there,
What pond is that?
Eddy Pond. There's an overpass.
Oh, you gotta turn that upside down.
Oh,
Turn it upside
sorry,
down.
I'm looking at it from the side.
So you go, no, there you go. Now I know where you're pointing. So you're going from Millbury Road, Depot Road?
No, this is Auburn here, so Route 20. You're going south to, there's an overpass right here, Cedar, is it?
Yeah, Cedar.
Yeah.
Cedar. So just after the Cedar Street overpass is where this section will stop, and then, you know, we'll be coming in for the next section.
You may have to turn it back around. Because, no, because Cedar, that's it, okay.
Do you have any issues with it?
Oh, absolutely, that's what,
They're under linear.
it's a dad in Oxford.
Yes. No further questions?
No.
Entertain a motion to issue a negative determination of applicability.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Issue.
Thank you.
Oh, did we
very
close the
much.
hearing?
This is embarrassing.
Huh?
I'm so sorry.
Did we close the hearing?
Oh, entertain a motion to close the public hearing. So moved. All in favor?
Thank you. All right, 7:10, public hearing continuation for the notice of intent land disturbance permit application filed by John Shockey, 9 Donald Cross Road, Spencer, Mass, in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and the Town of Oxford General Bylaw, Chapter 66, for construction of a single-family home septic system and associated site work at 82 Millbury Road, Oxford, Mass. We still haven't received the DEP number.
I understand, we will be asking for a continuance, thank you. We just want to ensure that the DPW was set with the stormwater. The engineers revised the plan, as I had requested them to put in an extra erosion control at the top of the slope, above the rock boulders, and also at the inflow to that detention structure, so that any material is not going down and discharging onto the slope before you get to the wetland. The replication we had already discussed in the past, and we did pursue DEP, looking at that number, so we'll be sending another email out tomorrow, and hopefully we can close it in a couple of weeks or at your next meeting.
Excuse me.
And I only moved because I had too much work to do to get sick, so whether people, and that's all I'm saying.
So, the stormwater was reviewed by our DPW director. He had a few minor comments. The engineer did take care of those. And so our DPW director, he does recommend administrative approval for the project.
Might I ask the chairman?
20,
20, thank you, sir.
so we're just doing continuance then?
Yeah, there's no DEP number.
Right, so what date?
We got is the 20th good for you?
Yes, sir, thank you very much.
So December 20th, could be on at, 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Any questions from the audience being
it's continued.
Of course.
Yeah, the public hearing's still open.
All right, I have a question. 82, how much fill is going to be added to that property?
I don't know.
Through the chairman, none.
How much fill is, much area of ground is going to be taken out?
Taken out.
It's on a hill.
We're through the chairman. The lower part of the hill, as you know, we're working up on top of the hill, not in the wetland down below. And that's a gentle grade once you climb that hill system. And yes, the septic is in the front and the house is over 100 feet from the wetland. And that's what we're proposing. The septic system has been approved.
Now,
The
ledge?
stormwater has been approved, and thank you, Jim.
Isn't that all ledge?
That's not our concern. Our concern is the wetland.
I'll say.
Do you have a question regarding?
I actually have a question regarding the wetland. Right, this wasn't discussed at this meeting, but it was discussed at last meeting, which I watched on YouTube. They talked about removing, having water flow from the wetlands at this property to a pond across, on somebody else's property, across the street. I mean, has that person...
That's what it does.
Yeah, but has that person been notified and given permission to have their wetland water flowing into their pond?
It's already, that's already what it does. It goes down through the system, under the road, into that, it's a fire pond, isn't it? Or is it a pond?
Yeah, without a house, without a driveway, without a lawn. It's just,
What does that
it's
have to do with-
stagnant. It's just a piece of property that's just there. And it flows into their pond. Now you're talking about changing the whole morphology of the whole place, putting a house in, putting a driveway in, putting a lawn in, adding a grade to make the lawn nice and flat and all this. He's gonna get flooded out across the street.
That's what the stormwater calculations are
Okay,
for.
no, that's what he came up with?
No, that's what DPW came up with.
DPW?
No, there was an engineer that prepared the stormwater management plan, and then our engineer from the DPW reviewed it and went through all the information and found that what they're proposing is adequate for...
Adequate for an existing body of water,
No, it's
that it
not.
would not impose on that body of water going forward with any changes across the street.
So, you understand that all they need to accomplish is that the amount of water that comes off that property now, without anything on it,
Right.
matches the water that comes off that property with the project done. That's what the stormwater does. It detains the water so that the flow off that property remains the same.
That's guaranteed.
That's what the calculations tell us, and that's what the engineer tells
That's
us.
not what I said, that's guaranteed.
There's no, well, I'm not guaranteeing anything, I'm telling you what they.
Well, that's
the
what I'm saying. I
requirements.
mean, all these calculations, the people that's
This is
been there
the
for
place
20
to
years.
change those calculations. I would, if you would like to, I would love to see you change those
You
calculations.
can't.
Well,
The
yeah, they have
calculations
to be
speak for
changed, not
themselves. You
here.
cannot guarantee that when that house is built, a year after that, that those people are gonna be flooded out in their basement and that pond may breach.
Go ahead, Glenn. You wish to.
Just so briefly, because under the state law, it's 4 houses or greater is where you have to then do stormwater. We're at 1. You have a town bylaw for stormwater. We sent it to Summit Engineering, which is Total Land Surveying at the old Knights of Columbus. They did the plan. They reviewed the stormwater bylaw regulations. They worked to comply with the stormwater bylaw regulations, which is more strict than the state law. And then those calculations in the plan showing what we're proposing, what the client is proposing, what the engineers have proposed, goes to the town reviewer. They review it, they have some comments, minor. We address the comments, now we conform to the town's stormwater bylaw, which is a Home Rule Act, so it's more strict than the state stormwater bylaw, which again, would have to be 4 houses or greater to trigger. So we're in compliance with the town's stormwater bylaw. One single house with infiltration and colloidal silt being dropped out and nutrient attenuation, then flowing through this wetland system, then to the drainage ditch along the road, going in a southern direction and then flowing through the pipe underneath the road. Minor is pre and post runoff is made to be attenuated so you don't have a peak rate of runoff coming off the lot. That's what your stormwater bylaw requires. That's been reviewed. That's what's on the plan. That's what DEP is looking at, but they won't look at the stormwater bylaw because it's above what they have to look at. They only have to look at the state law. And again, we're complying with the state law thoroughly because we're not 4 houses or greater. We appreciate that we now have a wetland in the front that we have to respect, and we're going to utilize generally that access way that was put in there when this was a negative determination with no safeguards, but now we have filed and have flagged and shown the commission the wetland line, and we're staying away from it. The septic is in compliance with being well over 50 feet from the wetland, which is the state law, and the town adheres to that law, our Board of Health, and the house is further in the back. And we can't wait to do the project. I'm looking forward to it.
He always meets the very minimum.
It's all he has to meet. It's all anybody has
It's a
to meet.
beautiful thing,
That's
isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
why that is there. Just let
You know, the next time you're on Millbury Road, gentlemen and ladies, take a look at the walls, the
Retaining walls.
Yeah.
they're buckling.
If there's an issue with that, bring it.
You know what that's from? The fill that he authorized, that I was against bringing in to put those houses up there, because the water's seeping through and it's not going down through.
So that's not this project.
Oh.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want it on the agenda, or make a.
Look at the
complaint,
walls.
Make a complaint, and we'll go check it out.
Thank you, Mr. Kravosky.
All right. There is no DEP number, so entertain a motion to continue to December 20th at 7 PM.
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you, Commissioner.
That part.
Is that the end of the meeting?
And thank you for answering questions.
Yes.
Is that the end of the meeting?
Say that again?
I don't know.
I just wanted to know if there's
Yes.
no.
Well, we have the agent's report.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You know where I live, don't you? Come on down.
So, just a few
Don't,
quick.
don't,
I know.
don't threaten.
All right.
That's not a threat.
Thank you. It was enlightening.
He's been staring me down all meeting.
Okay.
All right. Let's go home.
So, good night. A couple of things. Earlier this week, there was an oil leak that was reported to DEP and also to us. It has since been cleaned up. It did not affect any wetland, and I made a memo. It's in your packet if you wanted to read the details about it, but it's not an issue for us.
Yep.
I received a response from the Home Depot about the litter issue, and they went out immediately, cleaned it up, and going forward, they're gonna have someone, a team, go out there once a week
Really?
and check.
Wow.
That's what the manager relayed to me.
Did you suggest the fence?
No, I didn't, I didn't feel it was appropriate for me
Yeah.
to suggest a fence. I sent them a picture with the fence at the basin,
Oh,
showing how the fence
yeah, that's good.
stops all the litter. And I was
Yeah,
hoping that
that's
they
good.
might come up with that idea
Sure.
on their own, but not at this time.
Judy, can I ask maybe one comment, because the same situations happen at Walmart with the
Right.
wetlands
If you
there.
can let me finish.
Okay,
Which is my next item. We've already viewed Walmart, and a similar letter is going to be going out to them. It
okay.
is much worse there at
Yeah, okay.
Walmart than at Home Depot. But the difference is Home Depot, the pond is right behind their building pretty much. It drops right down to the pond. So
Okay.
it's more of an issue as far as the wetlands go. At Walmart, there's a lot more litter. And because the grass has grown up so high in this one area, the litter, most of the litter is being caught in the grass and not making it to the stream.
Okay,
But there is some in that stream. But either way, it needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah.
You haven't heard from Walmart?
No.
No.
We have a new notice of intent for a house on Stone Creek Circle, which will be on your December 20th meeting. And I have packets for you. There's a plan in here with the information for that project. There's also going to be a new septic repair on Lynn Street. I don't have copies of the plans yet to submit to you. But we'll do site visits probably next week for both of those. And I have these with some other, just some information in it, a calendar for next year when we're going to have our meetings. And there was an article about dam removals that's also in there. And that is all I have.
I have a couple questions. I don't know if this is the thing, you know, the dinner that we're having.
Yeah,
as Ed
that's-
and Bob.
That's-
invited. That's at.
That'll be after,
After the meeting?
or we close the meeting.
Yeah.
It's not on the agenda, so.
I think that wetland by Walmart, that does flow under the road and go to that pond across the street? Is that your understanding, or are you not sure on that?
I'm not sure on that. I think it goes towards Auburn. But then there's this other stream that comes
There's one right, that's, there's a
by,
There's one that comes down
Restaurant,
from
isn't it?
Prospect Street.
Yes.
Which flows into behind J. Anthony's.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I don't
That
know
one.
how that gets over here, but I'm thinking it goes that way. Towards Oxford. You think it goes the other way? I don't know why that pond's filled up like it has.
yeah, I noticed that
That
too.
was way filled. I
I
thought
don't
it
know
was
if there's
going
like a river dam over there or something just going on.
There's not a dam over there, but it does flow down a stream, it goes, it's part of that railroad trail, the last section of it, because I cleaned that trail. And there was a stream that flows down, there was a beaver dam over there, and it flows down, it goes all the way down to Turner Road and keeps on going, you know what I mean? And so, I think it might even go underneath Turner Road and then go down to like the power line access roads over on Turner Road that goes to Leicester Street. You know what I'm saying? So, that's a pretty good flow in there. You know what I mean? So, and I know there's a lot of wildlife in that pond.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
Cranes, I've seen cranes.
yeah, blue herring and everything.
Yeah.
So you all set?
Yeah.
Is
Entertain a
that the end
motion
of the
to
meeting?
close the meeting.
I move that we close the meeting.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Meeting is over.
So the dinner
What are we hitting?